Haiyao Yuan.
Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today I'm gonna introduce part of the influences that I got from other artists and also the work in progress that of my work and also learning process as well. Before I start, I recommend you have a huge tank of water when you're working on something. For me, it's a reset point and help me moving my body around, and it's also generally a good thing for your health as well. I usually will drawing within my living space because I was trying to make it as a casual and daily things. I know starting from a totally blank paper is quite difficult for me, so I wanna stress out a little bit that pressures away and make producing something is like a more smoothly process for me. So I choose the drawing within my living space, which will make me more comfortable and it works well. Before I draw something, I usually will gather reference photo for my work. I think it's quite helpful for the creating process, make it more smoothly, because reference photo could provide a tons of accuracy and useful information for the later on when you are drawing stuff, and you don't have to worry about the composition and the accuracy of something too much. You can just take the information from the picture and stylize it within your own style. For the process, I usually will go from line first and go to the basic color, then rendering it, details, and finalize it. I will have different color version and see to decide which one is better. And here is a video of the creation process. Oh. Okay. All right. Speaking of the learning process, I wouldn't treat illustration as my lifetime long stuff, so I didn't spend a lot of time on it, and I was initially gonna do AI. But by the time goes, I realized it's very interesting to draw stuff and it's very fun to do. So I start to spend more time on it. This is the time that I try to learn from other illustrator and learn how they draw stuff, how they deal with the shadow or lights, how they present the figure, or how the composition goes. I also tried different format of illustration, such as covers or book illustration. Then I want to make my stuff more dynamic, so I try different composition and adding a little bit narrative within it. I also tried character design as well. From the left corner, it was a very interesting exercise that I did before, which is transform uh, little objects or themes into different character and give them persona, but also kind of somehow connecting with the original as well. I also learned professional character design about how they design a character, but also apply the elements from the original to the actually figure. Here is where I am right now, and I'm pretty satisfied about it. I get influenced by many different illustration and illustrator and artwork as well. If I have to say three of them, it will be J.C. Lendecker, Norman Rockwell, and Yonen Yamamai. For J.C. Lendecker, his work is a production advertising for me. It shows all the goods may happen within the life, and because of the purpose is to catching the eyes at the first beginning, so the rendering and the color choices is very straightforward. For Norman Rockwell, it adding a lot more narrative within the piece and provides interesting details that will show to the audiences and create a very good reading experience. The composition is also geometric. It's like a stage production and show all the information in front of the audiences and allow them to see and view this information at the first beginning when they see the work. For Yoneyama Mice, the reason that I choose illustration is the reason that I get into illustration because I want to produce something like her works at the beginning stage. So I do think her works is pretty cool and very attractive for me. I choose illustration as my media because I do think it's very deep and it's eye-appealing media as well. Over 70% of the information that come from people's eyes. So I do think if I could draw something very attractive, that would be wonderful because people are gonna see it at the first beginning of the place. Illustration do have a special meaning to me because I do think reading different illustration it's like reading different books from different artists, and if you think back about their thinking method, it's a kind of journey and a learning experience for me as well. And also, I do think it's very interesting to do. It provides the objective thinking thoughts and the rooms for myself. It's a kind of self-conduct things because if you are trying to improve your skill-wise and your mental-wise to produce amazing works from yourself, that will cost time and energy as well. Also, learning from other people's experience could help you grow as well. So it's kind of a self-conduct things for me. And also, I enjoy the feeling of get better on stuff, either mental-wise or skill-wise, which is kind of things that I want to do, and I think I can get better on different stuff based on the learning process. And also, illustration is a media that I can use different field of knowledge, like a movie or photograph. The composition and the lighting is very similar, and they could also apply to the illustration that I'm gonna create as well. And that's it. Thank you.
Time for questions, if anyone has a question for Haiyao.
Your color.
I realized myself like liking the red color a lot is from I don't know. There isn't have a very specific reason for that. If I'm thinking about the possibly reason for that could be I think red is a very strong color and it will send out emotion immediately and it's very attractive as well.
I have seen your work evolve from a certain style to more painterly strokes in your work. It was more illustrative before, and now um, it has more strokes and more human-like approach to it. Can you tell me the process of how you're shifting from that to this right now?
Okay. I didn't feel that was very clear, like a different field. the thing that I do is trying to learn from other people and their skill or method that I could also merge it within to my own style kind of things and present it about what I'm trying to present. Because I do think it needs very high level of skill and knowledge across the field to present something from your mind and transfer them on actually stuff like a paper or other kinds of media. So I feel my work haven't changed that much from like you said, from more illustrative to painterly. I didn't realize that. So, yeah.
I notice in a lot of your work and in your influences that obviously like figure drawing is a really big aspect, but a lot of like the clothing and fashion jumps out to me as well. I wonder how does clothing and coming up with a certain outfit for a character or drawing an outfit, how does that play into your process?
I feel clothing is a very crucial factor that could present the personality of the character. So before draw stuff, I was gonna consider what I'm trying to sending out at the first, then based on my own preference to design the clothing after that.
I just have a follow-up question to that. Do you enjoy, do you find that part of your research process includes looking at fashion, like fashion collections or fashion designers' work? And if so, I'm just curious what designers you find yourself interested in and how you learn from them.
I feel fashion clothing designer might be the big part of my work a little bit, because I think they produce something really cool and could combine different factors together on one figure, which is kind of attractive, and I can see the beauty within it. So I want to kind of apply those kind of beauty that I learn from other people to my own stuff as well.
Any final questions? Round of applause for